If you have an ABN for a side hustle and you have never claimed home office expenses, the ATO owes you back pay. Not a small amount either. The average Uber driver, freelance writer, or weekend tradie who works from home 15 hours a week is missing out on roughly $1,200 in deductions every single year. But here is the part that makes people uncomfortable. Claiming those deductions does not require receipts. It does not require an accountant. It requires a logbook and 4 weeks of honesty. And the reason most people never claim is not because they are not entitled. It is because they believe the ATO will audit anyone who claims more than $300. That belief is wrong, and it is costing you the same as a week's pay every 12 months. Part 1. Why side hustlers pay more tax than they should you start a side hustle. Maybe you drive for Uber on weekends. Maybe you do graphic design on Fiverr. Maybe you sell furniture you restore in your garage. You register for an ABN because the platform or your client asks for it. Then you earn $15,000 in a year. You lodge your tax return and report that income, but you do not claim any expenses because you are not sure what counts. The ATO takes 20% of that $15,000 if you are in the lowest bracket, which is $3,000. That feels fair? You earned it. You paid tax on it. But here is the loop I am opening. A sole trader running that exact same side hustle from a home office is legally allowed to deduct a portion of their rent, internet, phone, electricity, and even depreciation on their laptop. Not all of it, but a percentage based on floor space and usage time. That percentage turns that $3,000 tax bill into something closer to $1,800. The difference is $1,200 in your pocket instead of the ATO's. And the Australian Tax Office has published specific guidance on exactly how to calculate this. It is called the fixed rate method for home office expenses, and almost nobody with a side hustle has ever read it. Part 2. The 67-cent rule that changes everything. From July 1st, 2022, the ATO updated the home office deduction rate. You can now claim 67 cents per hour for heating, cooling, lighting, cleaning, and the depreciation of office furniture. On top of that, you can separately claim your actual phone and internet expenses, plus computer depreciation, plus stationery. That is different from the old rate, which tried to bundle everything. So let me give you a real example. You work from your home office 15 hours a week for 48 weeks of the year. That is 720 hours. Multiply by 67 cents gives $482. That covers your electricity and furniture wear and tear. Then you claim 50% of your internet bill because you use it for both personal and business. Say your internet costs $90 a month. 50% is $45 a month. Times 12 is $540. You claim 80% of your mobile phone bill at $70 a month. That is $56 a month. Times 12 is $672. You also claim depreciation on your laptop. A $1,500 laptop used 80% for business over 3 years gives you a deduction of $400. Add it up. 482 plus 540 plus 672 plus 400 equals $2,094 in deductions. At a marginal tax rate of 21% for someone earning between $45,000 and $120,000, that saves you $440. At 32%, it saves you $670. And here is the part most people skip. You do not need a separate room dedicated to business. You just need a dedicated work area. Your dining table counts if you only use it for work during those hours. Your bedroom desk counts. Your garage workbench counts. The ATO does not require a locked door. They require a reasonable calculation. Part 3. How to claim without getting audited. The fear of an audit is the single biggest reason Australians leave money on the table. But the ATO does not audit people for claiming home office expenses under $2,000 unless those claims are obviously fraudulent. What triggers an audit is inconsistency. Claiming 80% of your phone bill when you have a full-time job that also uses that phone. Claiming a home office when your side hustle earned $200 for the whole year. Claiming the same expenses as your partner. To claim safely, you need a logbook for 4 weeks. Pick any 4 consecutive weeks in the financial year. Write down each day what time you started work, what time you finished, and what tasks you did. That logbook establishes a pattern, then multiply that weekly average by the number of weeks you worked. That is your total hours. The ATO accepts this method. For phone and internet, keep one bill from each quarter. Highlight the total amount. Write on the bill what percentage is business and why. For depreciation, keep the receipt for the laptop or computer. You do not need to submit any of this with your tax return. You just need to keep it for 5 years in case the ATO asks. And the ATO only asks in about 1% of cases for sole traders with total deductions under $5,000. The people who get audited are claiming thousands for a tractor on a $2,000 farming side hustle, not someone claiming $500 for a laptop they actually use for freelance work. To claim the deduction, you log into myGov, go to the ATO portal, and under business income and expenses, you enter your total side hustle income. Then under expenses, you enter home office, phone, internet, and depreciation as separate line items. Do not lump them together. The ATO system looks for reasonable splits. Part 4. The person who claims versus the person who does not take 2 people with the same side hustle. They both earn $12,000 a year from freelance writing. Person A does not claim any deductions. Their taxable income from the side hustle is $12,000. At a marginal tax rate of 19% because their main job pushes them into that bracket, they pay $2,280 in tax on that side income. Person B works from home 10 hours a week for 40 weeks. That is 400 hours. Times 67 cents gives $268 for running costs. They claim half their internet bill, $450. They claim half their phone bill, $420. They claim depreciation on a laptop, $300. Total deductions, $1,438. Their taxable side income is $10,562. Tax payable is $2,007. That is a saving of $273 in 1 year. Over 5 years, Person A pays $11,400 in tax on their side hustle. Person B pays $10,035. The gap is $1,365. Now add the compounding effect of investing that saving. Put $1,365 into a high-interest savings account at 5% for 5 years, gives you about $1,740. Put it into super as a concessional contribution, and you save even more tax on the way in. The person who did not claim did not break any laws. They just paid more than they owed. And the ATO will never send you a refund you did not ask for. That is not their job. The line between working from home and living at home has never been blurrier. The ATO knows this. That is why they simplified the fixed rate method. They are not trying to catch you. They are trying to make it easy for you to get it right. But easy does not mean automatic. You still have to do the 4-week logbook. You still have to keep the bills. You still have to enter the numbers. And the people who do those small, boring tasks are the ones who keep more of what they earn. The side hustle economy is built on the idea that small efforts add up. A delivery here, a design there, a weekend of driving. But the same logic applies to your tax return. Small claims add up. And over a decade, the gap between someone who claims fairly and someone who claims nothing is measured in thousands of dollars. Not because the tax system is unfair, because the tax system rewards attention. So here is the question you need to sit with. How many hours have you already worked this year that you are never getting back? And how many of those hours are you about to give to the ATO simply because you could not be bothered to keep a 4-week diary?